Genius, madness, and legacy. What happens when the greatest empire in the world loses its king? Alexander the Great died at just 32 years old. No heir, no plan, no successor strong enough to replace him. And within hours of his death, generals, friends, and entire nations began fighting for control of the most powerful empire the ancient world had ever seen. But here's the twist. Even though Alexander's empire shattered, his influence didn't just survive, it conquered history. This is the story of what happened after the world's greatest conqueror was gone, and why his legacy still shapes our modern world. The death of a god-king and the chaos that followed. When Alexander died in Babylon, the first question was simple: who rules now? His wife Roxana was pregnant. His half-brother Aridaeus was alive, but mentally unfit. His generals were powerful, but none had Alexander's authority. When asked who should inherit the empire, Alexander's reported answer was, "To the strongest." That sentence became a curse. The Diadochi, generals turn against each other. Alexander's top commanders, the Diadochi, divided the empire, promising to rule together. That promise lasted about 3 minutes. These men had fought beside Alexander for a decade. Now they would fight against each other for the rest of their lives. The world plunged into a series of brutal conflicts known as the Wars of the Successors. Former brothers-in-arms became enemies. Ptolemy seized Egypt. Seleucus battled for Persia and Mesopotamia. Antigonus tried to claim the whole empire. Cassander took control of Macedon and Greece. Alexander's empire didn't just crack, it exploded. Ptolemy's Egypt, the most enduring kingdom. While other generals fought endless wars, Ptolemy made a clever move. He stole Alexander's body. He transported it to Egypt, where he built a magnificent tomb in Alexandria. Owning the body of Alexander gave Ptolemy legitimacy, almost divine authority. His dynasty, the Ptolemies, would rule Egypt for nearly 300 years. The last ruler of that line? Cleopatra. Yes, Cleopatra was a descendant of Alexander's general. That's his legacy at work. The Seleucid Empire, a superpower in the East. Seleucus took Persia, Babylon, Syria, and much of Central Asia. He ruled a multicultural empire even more diverse than Alexander's. His dynasty connected Greek philosophy, Persian administration, Babylonian astronomy, Indian mathematics. The Seleucids would dominate the Middle East for centuries, shaping trade, religion, and politics long after Alexander's name faded. The Hellenistic Age, a new world is born. Even though the empire shattered, Greek culture spread everywhere. This era, the Hellenistic Age, saw an explosion of creativity and scientific progress. Mathematics. Euclid wrote the elements, the foundation of modern geometry. Astronomy. Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's circumference with stunning accuracy. Aristarchus proposed a sun-centered solar system 1,800 years before Copernicus. Medicine. Herophilus and Erostratus performed the first human dissections. Engineering. Archimedes invented machines still studied today. Geography. The first true maps of the world were drawn. None of this would have happened without Alexander's conquests connecting civilizations. The world became bigger and smarter. Alexander's impact on Rome. Rome admired Alexander so deeply that generations of Roman leaders carried his biography with them into battle. Julius Caesar once cried in Spain, saying, "At my age, Alexander had conquered the world, and I have done nothing." Roman military tactics, imperial ambition, and even political propaganda were shaped by Alexander's example. In many ways, Rome was the empire Alexander never lived long enough to build. His influence on Persia, India, and the Middle East. In Persia, Alexander was remembered as both a destroyer and a bringer of new ideas. In India, his campaign reshaped kingdoms and inspired new military strategies. In the Middle East, Greek became the language of trade and scholarship for centuries. Even religious texts were influenced. The Hebrew Bible was translated into Greek. Early Christian writings used Greek philosophy. Islamic scholars later preserved Greek scientific works. Alexander didn't mean to start a cultural revolution, but he did. Alexander the myth, god, hero, or tyrant. After his death, Alexander became more than a man. He became a legend. Some saw him as a godlike hero, a visionary uniting the world, a brilliant general, the model of leadership. Others saw him as a tyrant, a destroyer of cities, a man driven by ego, a symbol of unnecessary war. The truth is, Alexander was all of these things, and none of them fully capture him. He remains one of history's most complex figures, impossible to fit into a single category. The real legacy, why Alexander still matters. Alexander died young. His empire collapsed. His dream of one world never happened. And yet, his cities he built lived on. The cultures he connected created new civilizations. The ideas he spread across his empire shaped science, art, and philosophy. The generals he trained founded dynasties that lasted centuries. The world map was redrawn forever. Alexander didn't just conquer land, he conquered history. His story continues to inspire leaders, generals, scholars, and creators thousands of years later. His genius changed the world. His ambition nearly destroyed it. His legacy lives on everywhere. The man who refused to be ordinary. Alexander wanted immortality, and in a way, he got it. His battles are still studied. His strategies are still copied. His name is still recognized across the globe. He proved that one person can reshape the world, for better or worse. This concludes our 6-part series on Alexander the Great. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget, subscribe to Hidden History FactVault.